the head football coach at Tulane University, and he's given a whole new look to this program, a whole new feel to it, and they'll have a whole new look this year because they're in a whole new stadium, in a whole new place. But it's an old place on campus. Those of us who grew up here and went to Tulane Stadium from the time we were very, very young have fond memories of being able to be there and watch college football games at a high level. And I know that that's what he aspires to, and he's well on his way to establishing that at Tulane after a bowl season a year ago, taking Tulane to the Arnell Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Trying to build upon that with a tougher schedule in a new conference, in a new stadium with some new players. He's here to tell us all about that today. So gentlemen, outstanding football coach and a real blessing to this community. Please give a warm welcome to CJ Curtis Johnson.
It's always a pleasure. I think the quarterback club, and I think Ken Trahan has done a fabulous job. You guys are amazing. What you do for these young men, for the high school coaches, for the high school kids, is just amazing. You sit here, I'll come at the end of the season and there'll be 10, 12 great players sitting right down here in front of us, and coaches will be back there, they'll be smiling, parents. It's just one of those things that in this city, the quarterback club is one of the brightest moments, especially in high school football. I also like to be remiss, I got to mention this. I'm sorry I'm late. Today is the first day of our press conference of our conference. So my conference call is at 12 o'clock, so I had a couple of my assistants bring me here, and we got a speeding ticket on the way. I'm just joking, but it was close, and I really apologize for being late. First of all, I'd like to talk about what our administration has done at Tulane. I think it's a magnificent thing that they've done for these young men. All of a sudden you go to a place in the administration, you hear things about Tulane. So all of a sudden, now they're in this new conference, one of the best conferences in the world. We talk about power conferences. Well, UConn won the national championship in basketball. That's in our conference, men and women. Central Florida went out to Baylor and beat them in the Fiesta Bowl. Also a good conference. So this conference is a #1 conference. Great television games. Every week you see teams on television for our conference. So this is a real big time thing for us, for our city, and for our state. Also, our administration put together this vision to have this new stadium, have football back on campus, to have this home field advantage. And I think you can see it. It's coming up every day. Rick Dixon went all over the country. Got a lot of donors to donate money. Mr. Yulman is the guy who donated the most money for our stadium. It's a brand new state-of-the-art stadium. You got to see it. It's just one of the things now in New Orleans that everyone's talking about, and it's just a pleasure to be around. I think our young men are ready and eager to really get and show off their talents. We're going to be a relatively young team, and I'm saying that because last year, for the first time in Tulane's history almost, we had 7 players go to the NFL, sign contracts in the NFL. I don't know how many guys are going to make the NFL, but I can tell you one thing. I know all those guys graduate because I got the award. They'll be graduates. And just to have an opportunity to play at that level is just one of the things that college football is all about. It's not about making it or doing one thing or the other. It's about getting opportunities. I think that's what our school affords us, our young men, to do. They get great opportunities. They do a great job. Lester's one of them, and he's doing a fantastic job at his school at St. Martin. And so that's the type of opportunity we wanted to create for our young men. This week we play Tulsa. It's Tulsa Golden Hurricanes. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be very, very emotional for me already. We had a young man the last time we went to that field, and he was hurt. He was injured. He has a paralysis probably for life, and this young man is probably one of the inspirations for me. I always tell everyone my life is divinely orchestrated. It's not me. It's not about what I do. It's about what I can do for others and what I try to do for others. So Devon Walker, I'll be remiss not to mention him, he's asked to go back to Tulsa, to go back to the site where he was injured, and he really wants to thank everybody who saved his life, because that's what they did. They saved his life. And I'm a little bit choked up right now because I don't know if I could have the courage to watch another football game, or have the courage to even, to do anything back in the state of Oklahoma. But this young man asked to come on a trip, and through our administration, we're making it possible for him to come on a trip. He's going to have a slight reception. He's going to have a welcome, and they really, out of everywhere in the United States of America, Devon gets cards and he gets letters and everything from everywhere. but from Tulsa, the people really, really, really supported him. And not only with letters and cards, but they supported him financially. So that's one of the things that's going on. And I'm so happy for him that he has the courage, because I don't think I would ever have the courage to do that. He has the courage to go back and visit the site next Thursday night. I'd like to open this up for any questions you guys have. I hope I can answer. Some of these questions are tough. You know, the litigation question, please don't ask me that one.
Raise your hand, please. Raise your hand. Up here.
This may be a question that you might defer to Ken, but what's the situation with television coverage of the away game, especially Thursday's game?
Thursday game will be on CBS. Each of our games will be on certain television station with this new conference and this new rules. As you know, conferences are developed because of television. ESPN is carrying the majority of our games, and if they don't, it's CBS. And then later on in the season, it's almost like an NFL flex season where there will be more games provided for the people who win. So I think most of the games will be on some sort of television. Anything else?
Sherman Beatty and Tanner Lee.
Okay.
CJ, you're starting a young quarterback, Tanner Lee. How do you look thus far?
You know, and I think Tanner's a young guy. You know, you knock on wood that he stay injury free. You're just concerned about picking up the bliss and concerned about just the normal operations of a game just because he hadn't done it before. But I think he's going to be sensational. I think he has a great career. He's one of the guys that, if you know the story, Pete Carmichael for the Saints said, hey, look, you better take this guy. And we end up getting lucky enough to get him in. He's just playing outstanding. I mean, he has commanded the offense. He has commanded the huddle. He can make every throw. You know, so he's a really, really good, talented young man. But, you know, until you get out there and until he gets hit a couple times and until, you know, he has to make a game-winning drive or something like that, you know, we don't know. But, you know, I have a lot of confidence and a lot of faith in Tanner. I think Tanner's going to make a lot of people at Tulane very proud.
Coach, I live on Nelson Street, right off the Fountain, 3 blocks from the new stadium. I want to invite you to the tailgate party in the backyard of my house. One for this game, and it's going to rotate around all the houses in the neighborhood. So about 3 hours before, and we'll have non-alcoholic drinks. But I'll send you an email to follow this up.
Okay, but look, can I be at the after party, the victory party?
Absolutely.
Coach, which is looking better, your defensive line or your offensive line?
Well, look, I'm going to tell you this. One thing I would tell you is about our defense now. I think Lionel Washington and John Summerall, they do an outstanding job. Defensively, we tough. We tough as nails. You know, we have a kid from Baton Rouge, Tanzel Smart, Corey Randwine. They're playing outstanding. Had an outstanding camp. I can tell you one thing. Tyler Gilbert, the kid we get transferred from Arkansas, he can't be blocked. I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting to see him play against someone else. Darren Williams and Royce LaFrance also playing good. So I would say our defensive line is pretty good. And then last year, you know, our offensive line, we started three freshmen. One was a true freshman, but now I think they're growing up and they're maturing. They've gotten a year better, a year stronger, a little bit quicker. And so I think they'll be formidable. They'll be a lot better than it was a year ago. We have some young kids on our team that I think you want to be just circle their names and just dot their names in the playbook. There's a running back, Sherman Beatty from John Curtis High School, that is just going to be an outstanding player. He's fast, he's strong. He's one of our leaders in the spring. He ran track for us, and he actually won a couple track meets for us. He's very, very fast, very, very electrifying. There's another young man from Belle Chase High School, and I'm getting to the local kids because we have more local kids than any other school in the state of Louisiana. I'm just letting you know so that these coaches can send all their kids to us because we take care of them and they graduate. But I'm telling you, just the local kids, the local environment, just what we do with our local kids are just amazing. Uncle Lyle from Belle Chase, you know, and our quarterback right up the street from Jesuit. So, you know, we do a good job with them, and our kids come and they play and they have great careers. Anything else? Both of them. Thank you, guys.